And we are live. What's good, people? It's your man DL Saint. I know. I just be jumping on whenever I do. I'm sorry. It is what it is. It's how I roll. I will get better. I will start doing the scheduled Tuesday and Thursday shows. I will, especially when the school year starts. My daughter starts school on the 10th. So probably that following week, I'll be able to fall into that routine. Every Tuesday and Thursday, guaranteed live stream at a certain time. I think I put 6 o'clock on there. I might have to change that and make that an earlier stream. And then I'll just do extra pop-in shows whenever, like this show right here, man. So I hope y'all doing good. It's Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. I hope y'all back on the grind doing y'all thing. You survived the holiday. Give it up for yourself for surviving the holiday. Yay for you. You know what I mean? And you getting after it. It is what it is. I'm getting after it too. I was going through my news feeds, and this article came up that just caught my eye. I mean, and I had to jump on to say something, y'all. I had to jump on to say something about this news article. I am going to pull it up right now. It definitely just kind of it's one of those things that just kind of makes me say, wow. Miss AKA Lady, what's good? How you feeling? Happy Monday. Mandrill, what's good, brother? Good to see you. The answer is maybe. Yeah, Mandrill, what you doing, man? Ready for a link? I can send it to you, bro. Let me know if you want to jump on. But unlikely. I definitely agree with you there. Brother Doug, what's good? Good to see you. I hope y'all all had a good weekend. Thanks for checking in with me, y'all. I know I just be popping up and y'all be popping up here with me, man. So I appreciate that. I'm here in Central Florida looking out the window. It is raining. So I should go outside and do some training, because that's how we did it in the military. If it ain't raining, we ain't training. If it ain't snowing, we ain't going. So if it ain't raining, it ain't training. If it ain't snowing, we ain't going. But yeah, brother Mandrill, let me know if you want to jump in there. As a matter of fact, I'll you know what? This is what I'll do for this show. This would be a cool little, because I've been thinking about it. You know what? I think I should have some episodes when I do drop the link, and I think this would be a good one. Let me get a copy of this. Copy of the clipboard. Let's copy. Let me see if I can't put this in the link. There it is. Bam. StreamYard. There it is right there. Hey, drop the link first time. I did it because I saw you in the chat, brother Mandrill. That's why I did it. Brother Doug, Miss AKA Lady, thanks for being there. So yeah, let's see. And let me pull up on the screen the actual article. I don't know if you guys saw this article or not. It's floating around out there. And it's kind of like the people that they're talking to, I don't think they really understand what it means. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to pull it up, close these ads. That's just how they make their money. I ain't mad at them. But yeah, it's right here, man. It's like right here. So here it is. This is the Hill. This article came out 7/24, which is yesterday. Brad Dress wrote it. Nearly 1 in 3 Americans say it may soon be necessary to take up arms against their government. We're talking about the American government. I'm like, all right, in my opinion, pretty hardcore. A majority of Americans say the U.S. government is corrupt, and almost a third say it may soon be necessary to take up arms against it, according to a new poll from the University of Chicago Institute of Politics. Now, when you get into these polls, you know, what question did they ask? You know what I mean? How they posed the question. These are the kind of things that I think about. Like, all right, how'd you ask the question? You know what I mean? Is it a hypothetical? Is it possible that one day Americans may have to take up arms against America? Yeah, duh. You know what I mean? Like that's possible. You know what I mean? But is it something that Americans are thinking about? You know what I mean? And then you look at events like January 6th. It's like, you know. So it continues. 2/3 of Republicans and independents say the government is corrupt and rigged against everyday people like me, according to the poll, compared to 51% of liberal voters. Right? I mean, it's still split. 51%, man. 49% is the other way. It's split. So no one can look at our current political climate and think everything is perfect. No one can look at what the lobbyists are doing. No one can look at what the politicians are doing. No one can look at the money involved in our political system and think, this is fine. You know what I mean? This is how it's supposed to work. No one can think that. 28% of all voters, including 38% of gun owners, agreed it may be necessary at some point soon for citizens to take up arms against the government, a view held by around 35% of Republicans and around 35% of independents. 1 in 5 Democrats concurred. Okay. Again, I wish I could. I'm going to see if I can get my hands on the actual poll questions. I'm going to delve into this a little deeper, but I wanted to jump on right away just to see, you know what I mean, what the article was talking about. And our brother Doug, more people are thinking about it than most people realize. That's a good point. You might be right. You might be right. That's a good point, bro. Thanks. The findings come after a White House committee investigation on January 6, 2021 riots at the U.S. Capitol wrapped up its final hearing for the summer, seeking to place former President Trump at the heart of efforts to overturn the 2020 elections. His actions certainly weren't the actions of someone who was concerned with our political system. His actions certainly weren't in line with a leader who cared about America and Americans, in my opinion. Dude just didn't, he wanted to win. He hated to lose. And he's, scorched earth. That's my opinion. That's my take on it. You know what I mean? Be curious to hear y'all's. The panel also said Trump readily accepted and even encouraged the attack from his supporters, watching violence play out on television for nearly 3 hours before finally making a statement telling them to go home. Right. And he did that because everyone around him was like, bro, you better do this. I don't know who was able to finally convince him. I don't know if it's an attorney that came in there. It's like, bro, if you don't do something, you're going to be looking at some cases. I don't know. And that's what they're trying to figure out. Yeah, man. Like I talk to family and friends about, Donald Trump all the time. I'm not a Trump supporter, but I'll tell you this, though. I'm not mad at Trump for being Trump. There's no more than I'm mad at a shark for biting me if I'm in the ocean, or for a snake for biting me if I'm, if I don't see it sneak up on me in the bush. I'm not mad at people for being who they are. That's Trump. That's him. It is what it is. That is who he is. And there are people like that who just don't care. They care about themselves only. He's one of them type dudes. All right. I was not surprised at the way he acted in office at all. He was kind of erratic with stuff. It is what it is. I ain't mad at the dude. I can admire some of the stuff that he's doing. Like I said, from my old gangster side, like, bro's a true gangster. The stuff he gets away with blows my mind. Blows my mind. I can respect that as a gangster, but I also know he breaking laws. You know what I mean? Like, he getting away with it. He breaking law. I can't do that stuff and get away with it. So it's like, hey, from one former G to a current G, I tip my hat to him like, yo, dude doing this thing. Brother Doug, Telegram groups, Rumble, and other alternative social media platforms, people see the plays and by the elite and they are fed up. Yeah, YouTube is like that. I mean, the video I did about the 1% absolute power, when I was, highlighting what Andrew Tate was saying. Yeah, there's people out there. They're asking and they're looking. It's just people are being forced to think. You know what I mean? People got to think, man. Y'all know what I say about that.
Think tank, Arch. Nothing gets past the old think tank. Nothing.
Everybody needs to go ahead and exercise the old think tank. Jay Swans, what's good, brother? More folks are concerned about taking arms up against each other than taking arms up against the government. I think more people are quick to grab their pistol in disputes, but you're right, and that's the everyday thing. You're right. You know, he right. You're right. In the hood, like right now, somebody getting shot or shot at right now in the hood, in the hood, in the trailer park, in the barrio. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a poor person's thing, and I'm gonna speak more on that later on in this stream. But yeah, I agree, and so does Miss AKA Lady. She agrees as well. Yo, Jay Swans, man, Miss AKA Lady was telling me that they paying like $11 for watermelon, bro. Where she at? I'm getting them on the street for like $5, man. What y'all getting? What y'all getting for watermelon up there? Since y'all in the sticks, you know what I mean. I checked to see if y'all had a garden. If y'all had some, I was gonna take some with me, but y'all ain't got no garden, man. Y'all got all that space up there, man. All that backyard, you ain't got no garden in there. What's wrong with you? Despite the hearings, Trump still enjoys broad support among Republicans who are more concerned about inflation, education, and crime than they are about January 6th. I don't agree with this education part. I think they're more concerned with aspects of education, and I'm talking about that don't say gay stuff, but I don't think they care about education at all. If we cared about education, we'd be trying to get more money to teachers. You know what I mean? We try to get more money into education. We'd be trying to raise our children, educate our children. So I don't agree with that part. I'm surprised that got by the editor. About 56% of Americans say elections are fair and accurate, but that number falls to 33% among Republicans, according to Chicago University poll. Okay. I mean, that's their data. Yeah. I mean, you know, fake news goes along with all that. You know what I mean? Stop the steal and all that kind of stuff. The division between conservatives and liberals across the country is only growing, the poll shows, and a quarter of Americans say they have lost friends over politics. You know, people don't want to have these discussions. People don't want to be open. Like me and Jay Swans, we're brothers. We're tight, man. But we don't agree on everything at all. At all. Me and him go back and forth on this whole manosphere red pill stuff all the time. We go back and forth all the time, right? It doesn't mean he ain't my brother. It doesn't mean I won't lay down my life for him. It doesn't mean I won't lay down somebody else's life who's trying to hurt him and his family. Like, come on now. We can talk. We talk all the time. So, you know, Americans just, they don't know how to debate. Again, the think tank. Americans don't know how to think. You have to think the way I think or I can't be your friend. That's where we're going. And I think that screams to the thing that I'm always saying about having value in education and value in knowledge. It screams to that. People don't care. People don't want to go out and have these conversations. Like we're sitting here now talking, you know what I mean, us on this platform trying to figure stuff out. You know what I mean? If Brother Doug doesn't agree with me, or Miss AKA Lady doesn't agree with me, or Mandrill, Brother Mandrill don't agree with me, I'm still cool. Like we still cool. We can agree to disagree. It's all good. I'm gonna go back to the drawing board and try to find, I'm gonna strengthen my argument. And hopefully you'll do the same. You will strengthen your argument. But it's all good. You know what I mean? Jay Swans, that's because us folks love watermelon. Yeah, $11, we paying for that. Yo. You don't need to agree anymore to teach in Florida if you're a veteran. So you're right. Florida doesn't care about education. Yeah, you don't need a degree if you're a vet. That's crazy. There's some people I serve with, man, that are vets. I don't want them teaching my kids nothing. Nothing. I ain't gonna say no names, but Jay Swans know who I'm talking about. There's some people out there, I don't want them teaching my kids nothing. Keep them out of school. You know what I mean? Brother Doug, back to work, catch the replay. Thanks, Brother Doug. Salute to you, man. I'll see you on Suzette Speaks. She got a good show lined up tonight with it's a coach, HBCU coach, I believe it is, with NFL background, man. So I'll catch you over there. Thanks for popping in for a second, bro. Appreciate it. You know what I mean? Jay Swans. That's because I think that red pill, blue pill shit is childish. Yeah, like I said, he says it all the time, and I'm like, yeah, we listen to it, we go back and forth. We have great discussions when I'm sitting here like, yo, put yourself in their shoes. He's like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I can't do it. It's beyond me. I don't understand that. It does not compute. We have great conversations about it. I love it. You know what I mean? I love it. Miss AKA lady. Hold on, y'all. I'm looking at my board. I'm trying to find. Okay, I found it. Miss AKA lady. I found watermelons yesterday. Off topic. Yeah, well, what did you pay? Did you pay $11 for those watermelons, girl? Let me know. I said I wasn't gonna say no names. I said I wasn't gonna say no names, bro. That's on you. That's on you. I can't because I'm a grown ass man. I know, man. I know, bro. Oh, and I found something for you. Bro. Something that I know you're gonna love. I know you're gonna love this, bro, because you were like, man, you got your sound effects. Make sure you have that one sound effects I love so much, and here it is. That's for you, bro. So whenever you come on the show, that's how you will be greeted from this point forward. Jay Swans is in the house. That's how you're going to be greeted, bro. So keep that in mind. You're going to give me a hard time. Don't be mad at your boy, bro. Ain't nothing but love, man. Ain't nothing but love over here, player. Ain't nothing but love. You know how long it took me to find that? Miss AKA $6.99. I think the cost of living is going to drive people to worse behaviors. Who knows what will happen? Yeah. That's going to be a thing. Now we back on topic. But at least that's better than 11. Like I said, I'm getting them out here for $5. Watermelon. But you got to go shop around now. I mean, you got to go look for the best prices. People are gouging, y'all. So y'all got to be careful out there where y'all getting, where you're finding your food, paying for your services and groceries and whatnot. Go out there and look at it. So back to the story. More than 70% of Republicans and more than 70% of Democrats both agree the other side are generally bullies who want to impose their political beliefs on those who disagree. I agree that's true about all those people, that small minority on both sides, that minority on the right and that minority on the left is making all the noise and doing all this stuff. That's what they both believe. They both trying to bully and impose their wills on the masses, right? They want to impose their will on the 80% of the rest of us. That's what I believe. Both parties are out of pocket. They're ill-informed. They refuse to educate themselves. They refuse to debate. You know what I mean? That's what I believe. I believe that wholeheartedly. And it says, and half of all Americans believe that the other side is misinformed about politics because of where they get their information and news. The poll found that's that whole fake news thing, whatever. Now, because news organizations no longer report the facts, everything has their opinion attached to it. There's a slant to it. And they're only covering they cover the sensational stuff. And they're not reporting the news. They're not just giving you the facts and allowing you to run with it. So you have to sift through the news. You have to figure out what's real, what's not real, how much of that is true, how much of that is BS. You got to figure it out on your own. It's harder to consume news and get the facts. It's harder. You got to go to so many different platforms to kind of piece it together. But that's what you got to do. You can't just sit back and be like, I give up. I'm just going to do whatever they say. I'm just going to watch cartoons or whatever. I'm going to bury my head in the sand. You still have to go out there and get this information. You still got to have these talks. And the University of Chicago Public Opinion Strategies Benson Strategy Group poll was conducted May 19th to May 23rd among 1,000 registered voters. The margin of error is plus or minus 3.53 percentage points. I mean, it's not a really big pool there, 1,000 people, but still that's better than nothing. So that's the thing. And so when people talk about this, people talk about They talk about taking up arms. We're going to have to take up arms against the government. I don't think they really understand what that means. That's why I was talking about on the title of this thing, talking about, I don't think the average American understands what hyperviolence really is. They don't get it. They don't see it. Right? They just don't see it. Like, when you grow up in middle class America or close to it, like when you grow up in those bubbles that are far removed from the hood, far removed from poor folks, right? Far removed from poverty and the bad, the quote unquote, the badlands, the other side of the tracks. When you're not down there, like your life is completely different. If you live someplace where you don't even have to lock your front door at night, you have no idea what hyperviolence is like. You may have seen some things, but you have no idea what hyperviolence looks like. Right? These are the people who have never gone to bed hungry because there was no food. They may have gone to bed hungry as a punishment. And by hungry, I mean they couldn't have dessert. Right? Their family fed them like a refrigerated kitchen full of food. Right? You got mom and dad in your life. They're there. They're raising you. Grandma, grandpa. You got this whole community of people. These are the folks that are walking around dressed up in their little militia outfits. Right? They got their little AR, their AK, or whatever weapon they got, and they're walking around all geared up like they're G.I. Joe. Even when they do that, they know nothing's going to happen to them. They go out with the mindset that no one's going to do anything to me. And they're right. But the people in the hood and military folks, they understand what hyperviolence is. They get it. So when they hear stuff like this, when someone like me hears something like this, like what? You're gonna take up arms against the government for what? You know what I mean? Oh, because they stole the election from Donald Trump. I ain't steal the election from Donald Trump. Oh, because there's a conspiracy to eliminate Barack Obama. There's no conspiracy to eliminate Barack Obama. Because they're going to take my guns. They're not going to take your guns. Like, do you understand what that means? Like when you rise up against the government, and you talking about bringing weapons and stuff like that, the government has weapons too. Right? The government has all kind of stuff. It's like Andre said from Outkast. They got some stuff that'll blow out your back from where they stay at. Right? He ain't kidding. The government ain't got to come to your street. They can get you with a drone. They come to your street to see you. Come on now. People don't understand what that means. Now, I mean, you know what? I'm going to tell y'all a story. I'm going to tell y'all a story about something that happened in Cincinnati.
Everybody sit down, please. It's story time. It's story time.
All right. Sit down Indian style. Be quiet. Don't make no noise. Jay Swans, keep your hands to yourself. Miss AKA lady, quit talking. It's story time. I didn't see this happen myself, but it was told to me. This is back in Cincinnati. So there's a spot, everyone has it. We were growing up, this was back in the 90s. There was a spot where people were just hanging out. Cars were going back and forth. People on the sidewalks, on their stoops or whatever. Everybody just chilling. It's very, very social, but it's very, very hood. I guess it's all good, but there's always that tension. It can always pop off. You know what I mean? It can always pop off. So we're there kicking it. And there's a guy sitting there. And one of my dudes was like, there go dude right there. I'm like, who's that? Like, that's the cat from that story I told you yesterday. And this is how the story goes. Same environment. This girl, this beautiful young woman, walking around, got little booty shorts on. This is when Daisy Dukes was a song back in the day. Look at the girl that Daisy Dukes song, right? That era. Sister, fine. She chilling. Some dude, some real street dude, guy that people know. Guys out there putting in work. This dude walks up, smacks her on the butt, kind of like, he gropes her on her butt. She gets mad. She tells him off, as she should, But what she did that she shouldn't have done, in my opinion, according to the story, she smacked him. Like either smacked him or punched him, but she hit this guy. So the guy hit her back like she was a dude. Now, she died. I don't know if it was, the story said it was just the blow itself was enough to kill her. I don't know, but maybe he hit her, she fell, hit her head, and that's what killed her. But this young woman lost her life. All this plays out in front of her brother. Her brother's sitting right there the whole time. Right now, as the story goes, this dude, weeks before this happened, was like, he had respect. He was like everybody else, just another dude. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. If you were to tell him this story was about to happen, he'd be like, man, ain't nothing like that gonna happen in front of me, man. Not my people, this, that, and the third. Regular guy. But this happened in front of him. He didn't do anything about it. He didn't do anything to stop it when it was going on. He didn't do anything after the fact. The guy who committed this crime had to go sit down. He got locked up. He had to go sit down. And again, as the story goes, the guy who did the crime was actually remorseful. It wasn't his intent to end this woman's life, but he did. When I hear these people talking about getting their weapons and standing up against the government and going out here and putting in work and doing all this Civil War stuff, they want to do all this, I think of that guy. That guy who was like, yeah, big, tough, I'm going to do this. I do that. I've done that. I talk, man, I say what I got to say, do what I got to do. I'm like that. But that guy was paralyzed in fear on that night when this dude came up and did what he did to this man's sister. And he didn't do anything about it. He was just frozen. And anybody out there who can hear my voice right now, sent back talking about I would never freeze, you lying. That's bullshit. That is nothing but bullshit. I won't freeze. I don't believe that. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I'll never freeze. I'm like, man, whatever.
I didn't know they stacked shit that high.
That's how I be feeling. Everyone freezes. I remember the first time I froze. First time I saw hyperviolence. Yeah, I was real young, but I froze. Like I was playing a game of freeze tag. I couldn't move when I saw it. I couldn't move. Grown people freeze all the time. So these people out here talking about what they gonna do and all this, that's how I look at them. They ain't gonna do shit. A lot of them gonna freeze because they ain't never seen this kind of violence. I keep telling folks, with me, it's more the sounds of the violence. You know, hearing somebody get hit in the head with a bat, to actually hear it, man, that stays with you. When someone's getting stabbed and they're screaming out, oh, help me, they stabbing me, they screaming out. The smells, you know what I mean? Blood has a smell to it, y'all. You can smell it. Death has a smell to it. Those are the things that stick with me. I can't speak for everybody, but those are the things that stick with me. And they're in there. You know what I mean? Is it a possibility I could freeze up? Yeah, it's possible. People break, man. PTSD is real. So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. These people don't know what they're asking for. And then, like I said, the people in the hood, the people in the poor, like the trailer parks and all that, the poor folks, they understand what that is. They understand the hyperviolence. And you know else who understands the hyperviolence, who come out of those real nice bubbles, the coming out of the nice suburbs and that? People who served in the military. They understand it. They truly understand hyperviolence. And I came across another article that I wanted to just throw up here real quick. Right here. And before I get into, let me make this a little bigger. Before I get into that, let me catch up on the chat. Jay Swans, two-party system is a mess. Most Americans are in the middle, and the far left and the far right are making all the noise because the middle folks are too busy working. I agree wholeheartedly with that. Wholeheartedly. I agree with that. Miss AKA Lady Tupac had the perfect example. You keep knocking on the door asking for help. After being told no too many times, you're going to bang that door down and take what you need. Poverty brings desperation. That's true. That's true. I agree with that as well. Jay Swans, you're on point about not understanding what they're asking for. You see how shocked some of these people are about being arrested and because of that January 6th message. Yeah, shots. Shot. What do you mean I got to go? What are you doing? Why are you coming in my house at 6 in.? Why I got handcuffs on? Why'd you shoot my dog? Why are you screaming at my wife? Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works. There is absolutely a racial component to law enforcement and policing in this country, but they come hard. They don't care what color you are, how much money you make. They don't care. They don't care. They're going to come and get you. Right? Like that Roger Stone guy. They came and got him. He's sitting there like, oh, what's going on? You don't have to do all this. Yeah, that's how they do it. That's how they do it. Miss AK Lady, it's always the sounds. It's shocking to hear a gun or someone's skull crack on the pavement or see someone bleed out. It's hard to get that out your head. People act like it's the movie. That's for real. That's for real. That's how it is in real life, y'all. In real life, that's what it is. You talking about taking up arms against this government, right? People gonna get hurt. People gonna get towed up, man. People are going to die in a very loud and grotesque manner. That is what it is. It's all good until the first round is fired. Jay Swan says that all the time. You know what I mean? Billy's begging for war because they're frustrated with the world is changing and they ain't getting just because of who they are anymore, right? That privilege, white privilege was a thing, man, that's starting to wear off. Now you got to compete like everybody else. You got to compete. You ain't going to get that leg up anymore. It's really, really difficult. You got to compete. Right? Everything's under the microscope. And you're going to start lagging behind. You're going to start falling behind. And those people who were hungry, they're going to move forward. And it's going to stop. It's not going to be so much about race anymore. I keep trying. That's what Andrew Tate is saying. Andrew Tate, top G, black guy from the American black dude from the Midwest who grew up in London. Right? But here's the thing, though. He making his way to the 1%. He came from zero to multi-millions. And those people in the 1% going to welcome him, right? I keep trying to tell you at a certain point, it transcends race. They don't care, right? If you wanted them, you wanted them. I'm trying to get up there. You know what I mean? But that doesn't disregard what's going on in the streets today. Jay Swans and I are working on a show. Hopefully we'll do it this week. I got to find out when he wants to do it. He sent me a video of interaction with a police officer and a black woman. And the comments, normally I don't read comments, but I read the comments on that one. Like, yeah, man, we absolutely got to cover this. We absolutely got to cover this. You know what I mean? And y'all got to, when we do it, check the show out. I'll do the thumbnail. As soon as we lock in the date, I'll do the thumbnail. I'm telling you, it'll be a great show. It'll be a great conversation. I might even I don't know if I'll drop the link on that one, but it'll definitely be a great conversation. You know what I mean? 007, what's good, brother? 007 in the house. It's all fun and games until that pink mist starts flying. Exactly. Like, what is you talking about? There are weapon systems out there that if they hit you, the only thing left of you is a pink mist, people. That's it. Only thing might be left of you are your boots, with your feet still in them, but everything else gone. Real talk. Like, pieces all over the place. You got to go around, pick that stuff. You got to go pick your friend up. You got to pick up all the pieces you can find and put them in a bag. I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, you people out here, you know what I mean? Send this video to somebody y'all know in them circles over there that don't know anything about hyperviolence so they can think about it. Put this in the think tank, you know what I mean, and sit on this for a while. Jay Swans, we started at the 0-yard line. Billy started at the 50-yard line, and now we catching up. They can't figure out why. That's why they're frustrated. I see that. I can see that. I'll be frustrated too. What you mean I got to work now? All these other generations I don't have to work. What do you mean I got to work now? You know what I mean? 007 talking about that Foxy Brown. There you go. There you go. That all that's left is the pink mist. Y'all crazy. You crazy, Jay Swan. Something wrong with you. Dear Mona, recently I heard someone throw around a statistic that about 2% of all living Americans have served in the military. This seems low and seems worth fact checking. So I found this article and where did I find it? 538. 538 is pretty decent, like political thing. They are political, but I like them. I ain't gonna lie to you, I like them. They put out some good stuff. So, and this was the article. This from Ron asked that question. Navy vet, he's 52, lives in Michigan. Dear Ron, as of January 31st, there were close to 1.4 million people serving in the U.S. Armed Forces, according to the last numbers from the Defense Manpower Data Center, a body of the Department of Defense. That means 0.4% of American population is active military personnel right now. Well, according to this, And I think this was done in 2014 is when they came up with these numbers. That's not the question, though, is it? You're interested in the percentage of Americans who have ever served, perhaps because as a veteran yourself, you know that former members of the armed services vastly outnumber current personnel. The Department of Veteran Affairs is interested in a similar question. And to answer it, they use their own data as well as numbers from the Department of Defense, U.S. Census Bureau, the Internal Revenue Service, Social Security Administration. That's where they're pulling all this information. As of 2014, the VA estimates there were 22 million military veterans in the U.S. population. If you add their figures on veterans to the active personnel numbers mentioned above, 7.3% of all living Americans have served in the military at some point in their lives. So it's less than 10%, 7.3%. And I like to throw them numbers around, and now I have this a more solid number to use. Because I've always said less than 10%, and I'm like, man, I think it's less than 5%, but okay, 7.3%. Cool. A lot higher than I thought, but still very, very low. But since only 2 million veterans and about 200,000 current personnel are women, the overall percentage varies a lot by gender. 1.4% of all female Americans have ever served in the U.S. Armed Service, compared to 13.4% of all males. Yeah, so I think women should be registering with Selective Service. It's just a small thing, but if a draft pops off, that number could come up. And if I were female, feminist, womanist, or whatever you want to say, I'd be mad at this number. 1.4% compared to 13.4%. Y'all, you probably want to get that number up. Seeing as you mentioned specifically that you served in the Navy, I thought you might be interested in the breakdown by branch of service. 3.1% of all living Americans have served in the United States Army, HUA, 1.7% in the Navy, 1.4% in the Air Force, and 0.8% in the Marines, while the remaining 0.5% served in either non-defense or reserve roles. 0.8% in the Marine Corps. That's hardcore. That the Marine Corps is small. Man, shout out to them devil dogs. So that number you heard looks like a big underestimate. Perhaps the percentage was based on a younger age group rather than all living Americans. We know based on the VA data that more than half of all veterans are over 60 right now. I'm catching up. We also know which conflicts with veterans serving. Oh, I'm sorry. And we also know which conflicts those veterans served in. Brain fart there, y'all. My bad. There are 5.5 million living U.S. veterans who served during what the VA calls peacetime, meaning they didn't serve at any point during a conflict. 11,213 of them served before World War II had even begun. So that's a lot. They were in before, and the big wars when almost everybody jumped in there. Wartime veterans are a slightly harder to group to categorize because many of them often serve in more than one conflict. For example, 2.8 million veterans served in only the first Gulf War, defined by the VA as lasting from August 1990 to September 2001. I served in that conflict. Another 2.6 million served in only the second Gulf War, defined as the period from September 2001 to present. But there are another 1.6 million veterans that served in one of these conflicts as well as another, either the Gulf Wars or something else. Right? Because when I got there, I served with guys who were in Vietnam. So our platoon sergeant served in Vietnam, and he was in the Gulf War. And then there was a lot of guys who served in World War II who went on to fight in Korea and went on to fight in Vietnam. So you get all that kind of overlap. America always has something for you to do. There's always a war somewhere to fight. And they have some, they have a graph here talking about the wartime vets. They got World War II, Korea conflict, Vietnam, 7.25. That's a lot of people. 7.25 million served in Vietnam, and you got which is more than that served in the Gulf War. Korea, World War II. Well, look at that. It's pretty cool little graph. I'll pin this article below. The VA also calculates the projected population of veterans over the next 3 decades. Based on its current information, i.e. assuming no future conflict, the agency expects the number of living veterans to steadily decline to 14.5 million in 2043. Unsurprisingly, the only category of veterans projected to increase are the post 9/11 ones. Their numbers will rise from 3.9 million in 2014 to 6 million in 2043, according to the VA's projections, meaning that those personnel will go from representing 1 in 6 military veterans to 1 in 2. I thought that was pretty cool. And, you know, that people are like, well, why did you even read that, bro? I wanted to read that because those are the people who understand hyperviolence. You know, and it's people like, well, now all people in the military go to war and actually they're put trigger pullers and they see the violence. No, they're not trigger pullers, but they're there. Right? You could be in supply in the rear with the gear, but you're sending out body bags. Right? You could be the guy who's putting fuel on the helicopter or the aircraft and all that stuff, but you're gonna see the dust offs coming back with bodies in them. You know what I mean? You might be the guy that has to wash all the blood out the back of the Black Hawk or the back of the Chinook. You're going to see it. You might be the guy who, you know, like you might just be on some sort of detail, moving stuff around. You have to move stuff into the hospital and you can see all the young soldiers who are just chopped up and messed up. You're going to see it. You can be the cook, right? Sitting there. And some of the guys who were forward came to the rear and they're telling you stories of what they've seen, what they've done. If you're an MP, you're out there in the thick of it, right? If you're a combat engineer, you're out there in the thick of it. You're building bridges and you're doing all this engineering stuff. Could you imagine you're digging with your backhoe, you're digging with whatever, and you're digging up body parts? You're going to see that. That's going to mess with you. You know where that came from, right? If you're a guy who, you could be a drone pilot over here in Nevada somewhere, right? You're seeing stuff on that camera, on that drone. You're seeing bodies. You could be in JAG, handling military cases of, you know, potential wrongdoing. And you're going over documents and you're seeing the pictures of people getting chopped up, little kids getting blown up, families and all that, soldiers. So yeah, these are the people in the military, all branches, they understand hyperviolence. They've seen it and they understand it on some level. You don't normally hear these military people talking about getting a weapon and going to DC because they know what it means. Jay Swans, everybody want to talk about being in the military, but no one wants to be in the military because it's too hard, true, or they're too fat. When we say I got to do that show, bro, about the national, it's going to be a national situation, man. It's going to be a matter of national security, man. We got too many fat kids, man. Can't nobody get into the military. Jay Swans, let's do the show Wednesday afternoon. Bet we'll do it. We'll set it up, bro. And I'll start working on that thumbnail today. We'll get that ready. We're going to do that show. It's going to be a good show, y'all. Wednesday afternoon, me and Jay Swans. It'll probably be around 1 or 2 o'clock. We'll work the time out. I'll hit you up later on, bro. We work that time out. But y'all are definitely going to want to watch this episode. Yeah, you're going to want to see this. It's about law enforcement. You're going to have to see this. I bet less than 2% military members are or have been hitters. Yeah, absolutely. It's probably, definitely less than 2%. Trigger pullers, definitely less than 2%. You know what I mean? 0.5% can serve these nuts. Pose. Man, you stupid, bro. You stupid, man. You are absolutely stupid. They can serve these nuts. That's crazy. Major English served in Vietnam. I didn't know that. I believe it, though. I believe it. Special Forces, Ranger, Scuba. You know what I mean? Probably had, every qualification known to man. He was on the teams. Yeah, I bet he did serve in Vietnam. I'd have followed that man anywhere. That's one hell of a leader. I hope he's still alive and well. I really do. It'd be nice to meet him. Not meet him, but see him again. My family has 4 generations of veterans that served this country. Yeah, mine too. We got quite a few, man. I come from a long line of people who served in my family. Uncles, you know what I mean? Uncles. Almost all my uncles served. Korea, Vietnam. I'm sure I have family members during World War II, although I've never met them. Those would be my really old uncles. Most of them, we don't tend to live that long in my family. Like, you see 70, you're doing good in my family. I'm trying to break the mold. I'm trying to see 90. Jay Swans, Stop thanking me for my service. Instead, volunteer once or twice a year at the VA to help veterans. Yeah, real talk. My thing is, don't even, do that. Volunteer, help veterans, absolutely. But encourage your young family members to enlist. You want to thank me for my service? You really mean it? You wearing your American flag shirt? You're out here talking about all this stuff. How come nobody in your family has ever served? You know what I'm saying? Don't thank a veteran unless why didn't you toe the line? I ask people all the time, like, why didn't you serve? Thank me for my service. What branch were you in? So what I always come back with. Thank you for your service. Yeah, what branch were you in? Oh, I didn't serve. Why you talking to me then? You know what I mean? So yeah, but those are the guys, the veterans, those are the guys who know what it's like. Those are the men and women who understand hyperviolence, and Americans don't understand hyperviolence, and they keep calling for it. Stop asking for it. Like these little moonbeam children keep saying, stop putting it out there in the universe. Stop manifesting or whatever the hell they be saying. Stop asking for this. Stop asking. Right? That young man who saved those lives, that Elijah Dickens guy, he wasn't going around praying that he get a chance to shoot somebody. He wasn't doing that. He stepped up when the time came. He stepped up, but he wasn't going around praying for it. Like these people are going around praying, yeah, we need to step up or armed conflict with the government. Cut that, man. No. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop. So I just wanted to get on and talk about that, man. Jay Swans, thank you so much, man. Look, brother, you always helping me out, man. Like, 100. Brother 007, Miss AKA Lady. Brother Doug was in the house. Brother Mandrell, thanks so much for coming in there. I even dropped the link in the chat. No one wanted to jump up here. I ain't tripping. That's cool. That's absolutely fine. I ain't mad. But I'm going to at least once a week do a show where I just put the link in the chat and we'll just, kick the can around, talk a little bit about what's going on in the world. I don't think I'm going to do another one today, y'all. I don't think so. But who knows? I might come across a story. I might want to jump on there. I am working on a story. I was watching this thing on Wheat Waffles about kind of like hypergamy and why women date up. I'm thinking about doing something on about that show. I might break that down later on this week. Absolutely break that down. I'm still watching it though, but he puts out some pretty good stuff, man. But he's just so technical and in the weeds. But there's some gems in there. I think there's some stuff in there worth talking about. So thanks for rocking out with me, y'all. I appreciate it. Y'all get back to work now. I know y'all working hard out there on your Monday. Unlike your Uncle Saint just sitting around in the attic talking crazy into his computer. Right? So I'm DL Saint. This is the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.